Morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show, the video live stream. I'm Ken Lundberg, and my co-host this morning is Nancy Wuszke.
Well, good morning, Ken.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, ma'am. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Very good.
Wuszke.
Hardly anybody gets it correct.
Well, you helped me.
Oh, did I? I didn't remember doing that.
You told me how to pronounce it, and so I said, okay. So I practiced and I practiced. No.
Very good.
Thank you for coming into the studio this morning.
You're very welcome.
We're going to say this. We're going to ask you a couple of times about how you got here, but for exclusive content for our live stream listeners, how is it that you came to be a co-host this morning?
Well, Michigan Lutheran High School, they had a gala or gala, however you want to pronounce that.
Depends on if I'm being fancy. If I'm fancy, I go gala.
Gala.
Okay. Or gala, yeah.
Okay, and it was a fundraiser. They had a silent auction. They had auction by raising up your paddle. They had dessert auction.
Oh, man.
They had dinner and cash bar. It was a very nice night, a black tablecloth event.
Oh, black tie and everything? People
they were dressed to the
formals and tuxedos?
Dressed very well.
Okay, so the longer you were at the cash bar, the more you thought, I want to be a co-host.
No, that did not intrigue me.
All right. So you bid on, what were some of the other things you bid on for the silent auction? Did you bid on anything else?
On a dessert.
Oh, okay. So there was a dessert auction.
Right.
What kind of dessert? Do you recall?
They were so fancy. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. Some were donated by individuals and some by bakeries. I'm sure they were donated, but.
Do you have a favorite dessert? One of my favorite desserts is tiramisu. Yeah.
I even bought one for myself about a year ago and ate it very slowly.
Aren't they good?
Sure is. I don't know how it holds itself together with all that liquid in it.
It's the ladyfinger cookies and the way they soak up I think you put it like espresso or something in there and whatever, liqueur or whatever. But it's good.
Very good.
And I've never, it's almost like bouillabaisse. You never get the same recipe twice. So it's always an adventure. You're
probably right.
Yeah. So thank you for donating to Michigan Lutheran.
You're very welcome.
And they thank you. They appreciate you. And so the prize that she bid on the silent auction was to be co-host for an hour here on the WSJM Morning Show. So we talked to Nancy. She's got a lot to talk about. So I'm just going to turn myself. I'm going to go out of the room, and she's going to be here. No. I'm just kidding. So we're here on the video live stream. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, please let us know. But we'll talk about Nancy's background. We'll talk about the auto show that she's involved in and interested in. And we'll just talk about other stuff as well, if that works.
Sounds good.
Okay. It's 7:03. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got other news to talk about. We're getting ABC News right now, so we'll be back in just a couple of moments. You live out in Eau Claire?
Right.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
About 65 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. In this area all your life?
Yes, I grew up in Berrien Springs on a farm.
Oh, okay. What kind of farming?
Fruit farm.
Okay.
Peaches, apples, strawberries, all those kind of things.
I love this area.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I especially the peaches when it's a good year for peaches.
And this looks like a good year.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the blossoms didn't freeze.
That is fantastic. I think we only saw, knock on wood, only one frost warning so far this season.
Yeah.
And
I think we're out of the woods now.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to that, the theory that you should not plant before, like your garden, your home garden, that you should not plant before Mother's Day?
I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't.
Say, because I ignored that a couple of times. I put tomato.
Oh, got hurt.
Yeah. The tomatoes did not produce that year. Okay. All right. It's 7:04. We're going to come back with local news and more with Nancy in just a few moments. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
And we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And good morning and welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg, and my co-host this morning, my guest co-host, the community voice who has joined us, is Nancy Wuszke. She's from Eau Claire. Actually, you were born in Berrien Springs.
Right.
Born in Berrien Springs, and now you're living in Eau Claire, and a great background in farming. And she bid at silent auction at Michigan Lutheran for an opportunity to come and guest co-host the WSJM Morning Show. Are you rethinking that at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, good. Thank you. All right. Well, I'll ask you in 60 minutes, and we'll see if you have a different answer. No, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun this morning. So we're going to talk about Nancy, her background, and some things that are on her mind, including a car show, which is really cool. So we'll talk about all these things and more coming up in just a few minutes. First off, we need to get the weather forecast and then some local news. 61 degrees right now. It's drizzling, right? Drizzling a little bit? Okay, but drizzling in Benton Harbor. St. Joseph, 59 and cloudy. South Haven, it's 60 degrees, mostly cloudy. Dowagiac, it's 61. Niles, 62 degrees. And in Eau Claire, it's 62 degrees and cloudy as well. Forecast for today does call for mostly cloudy skies, a chance of rain and some storms. The high is supposed to be around 78 degrees at the warmest parts of southwest Michigan. So inland, it'll be cooler by the lake. Tonight's forecast, partly to mostly cloudy. Another chance of rain showers this evening, a low around 60. And then tomorrow, Thursday, that's a weather transition day, it feels like. Partly cloudy skies, chance of showers, stronger chance of storms coming Thursday night. The high is supposed to be around 87 degrees. 87 degrees is what I said. That's going to be an incredibly warm. What does something that warm do to your plants this time of year?
Oh, they love it. And that little moisture.
They're okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
They love it.
I feel like I should have put jalapeno peppers in the garden already, right? Because they love the heat. Well, they
In
do.
your mouth.
That too. Yes, absolutely. I made some. Have you ever had kombucha?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, kombucha is basically fermented sweet tea,
Oh, okay.
and you use like a bacterial yeast. It's a special thing. Don't poison yourself. But you use a SCOBY to ferment the sweet tea, and I made jalapeno kombucha. Yeah, all you do is a simple syrup, and you have the jalapenos in there chopped up. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I should have brought some in this morning. I'm sorry.
I think you need some ice water behind
Milk, ice water,
something.
all that. All right, so we'll have more on kombucha later, but that's the weather forecast for now. We'll talk with Nancy Wuszke in just a moment. First, we've got to get some local news out of the way. St. Joseph City Commissioners have approved the budget and the millage rates for the next year. They heard from their finance director, Ben Reynolds, Monday on many of the millages, how they'll slightly go down due to the Headley rollbacks, with the total overall millage rate paid by property owners set at 18.46 mils for the year. All of that goes into the $52 million overall budget, the bulk of which supports public safety and streets. With commissioners taking heat lately over the paid parking situation downtown, Commissioner Michael Sorolla took a moment to address the audience and point out that the city needs to finance about $92 million in infrastructure work through the year 2031. Some of that is mandatory work. With property tax revenues of $12 million per year, he said commissioners have to walk a tight rope to balance just about everything.
There's been a lot of chatter, in the community and from this body about the city wasting money and lining pockets, I think I heard people say. Again, whether you're for parking or not, this is our reality. This is what we have to come in and solve.
Sorolla said the parking fees will at least help with lot maintenance. City manager Emily Hackworth told us the budget is balanced and puts the city in good position to begin tackling all of those infrastructure obligations. Not all of it is water and sewer work. She said the capital projects in the budget include some things that residents ought to welcome.
The Dickinson Park restroom project is going to go forward, as well as the Dickinson Park playground, which is something that I know has been talked about
action needed to bring back the Downtown Development Authority. At their meeting this week, commissioners held a second reading on an ordinance amendment that will allow the DDA to be reformed. City Manager Tony McGee tells us it was disbanded about 10 years ago, but should be functioning again soon.
The mayor has been working with staff to interview DDA applicants for the commission. We had 13 applicants for 7 seats. They're being interviewed last week and this week.
Voting to appoint the new DDA members should be on May 27th. McGee says the reestablishment of the DDA comes at a pretty good time.
We'll have hopefully our first DDA meeting in June and get them rolling. The nice thing is, from our former DDA being here in the community, there's almost $400,000 nest egg of capital we've been sitting on for the new DDA to work with out of the gate. So between the work going on in the downtown and the resources they'll have at their disposal, it should be a really exciting year next year here in Buchanan.
McGee says while the DDA was gone, the nonprofit Live Buchanan handled some of its former duties. Now the new DDA will resume those responsibilities. The goal is to help promote economic development in downtown Buchanan. The DDA will be financed with a tax capture in the downtown area. Commissioners approved the reestablishment with little comment after a public hearing. And finally, all right, my co-host Nancy Wuszke is here. Do you like soft drinks? Do you like soda pop?
Not too much.
Okay. Because they're a little sweet, right?
Very sweet.
Yeah.
They add calories.
And they add calories, and it always bothered me that I paid for something I wanted to drink. It's like water comes out of the tap, free, right?
Right.
Why do I have to pay for soft drinks? That was young Kenny, who was very naive to the ways of capitals.
Yes.
Okay. But there's a proposal now from State Representative Brad Paquette that would prevent people on food assistance in Michigan from using SNAP benefits to pay for carbonated soft drinks. It sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Yeah. We'll tell you why. Paquette introduced the bill in April that would require the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to seek a waiver from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to make the prohibition. Paquette tells us soda is one of the most nutritionally detrimental food options available. That's a fancy way of saying it's bad for you. That's what I agree. Yeah, nutritionally detrimental. And yet people, Paquette says people can use their state benefits to buy it, even though the N in SNAP stands for nutrition. Paquette says even so, he's getting resistance to his idea.
The pop lobby has already come out in full force against the legislation because apparently it's about 40% of their bottom line are individuals using SNAP benefits to purchase pop. So the pop lobby is very opposed. They've already brought a bunch of my colleagues out to the Coca-Cola centers and things like that. The chair of our health policy, stuff like that, have been out there, and they're lobbying full force against this bill.
Paquette's bill says that if the USDA denies the waiver, the department will be required to request the waiver annually until it's granted. The bill has now been referred to the House Committee on Health Policy. That's a look at some of the local news that we're covering in the WSJM newsroom. It's an interesting proposal. I mean, he brings up a good point. I think we all know soda or pop isn't nutritional, right?
Definitely.
And if you have something that is called a nutritional benefit, should you be using it for something that's not nutritional?
Absolutely not.
Right?
Not with our tax dollars.
That's what I'm thinking. All right. Nancy Wuszke is my co-host for the hour. We're going to talk with her. We're going to start that conversation on our video live stream here in just a moment. We're going to get the latest sports from Michigan News Network. Dave Wolf is out, so Michigan News Network is subbing in. We expect Dave back soon. We'll be back on the air here on the radio in just a moment, but we'll continue our conversation on the video live stream on the WSJM Morning Show. Okay, back on the video live stream. Yeah, that's an interesting bill. Representative Paquette, by the way, has been very active recently. I think this is the third bill we've talked about. He's had a bill to talk about how you can put restrictions on adult content on the internet by setting up a new age verification. He's got this one. He's got one other that escapes my mind at this moment. But it's an interesting time in the state legislature because you've got the House controlled by the Republicans, correct, the Senate controlled by the Democrats. And so,
correct,
can they get anything passed? We'll see. We'll see. Well, I can tell you have thoughts.
Yeah, history tells you maybe not.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll see if they can get something. Maybe, and those things that they can get done, it's either really, really good or really, really vanilla. Right?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. We're talking with Nancy Wuszke here, and we've got a couple of minutes before we get back on the air. You tell us about your early life. So you're born in Berrien Springs.
Okay, I grew up on a farm. There were 6 children. And
So you're one of 6.
I'm
How many
old-
brothers? How many sisters?
4 brothers and 1 sister, and I'm the oldest of them.
Wow. Okay.
So when we were little, I had to take care of the kids while Mom worked on the farm, and I would sit underneath a cherry or apple tree on a blanket and take care of the rest of them.
Wow. What's the age span between everyone?
12 years.
12 years total. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And well, then of course, naturally, we all had to work on a farm.
Right.
And I remember saying one day when we were hoeing strawberries, I'm never going to marry a farmer. And that's exactly what I did. So Mom said, even if you love him, and I said, oh, I'll change him. Well, you know how that goes.
Now, why we only have a couple seconds before we get back on the radio here. Why would you not want to marry a farmer?
Because it was,
All the
it was
work?
hard work and it was hot outside.
So you hoed strawberries. Any other agricultural, any other
We
farming
trimmed
work?
raspberries, trimmed grapes, picked apples, peaches,
Okay.
strawberries,
Any
packed them.
Any snakes out there?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No.
That's good to know. I was reading an article about how they're trying to save some sort of rattlesnake up in northern Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, thank you. I've run into rattlesnakes before. They're not friendly.
Well, some people say if you know how to handle them, it's not so bad, but I don't know. I wouldn't trust
Those same people say they're more afraid of us than we are of them.
That
I
could be.
challenge that as well. All right, we'll be right back. It's the WSJM
Okay.
Morning Show.
Mostly cloudy skies with areas of fog to start out today. Then we get a chance for a few scattered showers this afternoon. High temperatures around 78. Tonight, partly cloudy. We'll see a chance of a few scattered showers. We drop to 60. And then for Thursday, we're going to be partly sunny and hot. We'll get up into the middle 80s, but we do have a chance of storms Thursday afternoon and evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:17. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's 61 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 59 in St. Joseph, and 60 in South Haven. Some clouds out there. What is it in Eau Claire right now? It's 62 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. It's cloudy in Eau Claire because we brought the sunshine in here. Nancy Wuszke is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
We're back. We've been talking. If you're missing the video live stream, you're missing a lot because we're talking a little bit about Nancy's history. And if you're just catching up, Nancy was part of a silent auction for Michigan Lutheran.
Correct.
And you made the decision, the conscious decision, nobody forced you
Correct.
to bid on an opportunity to come in and help co-host the WSJM Morning Show one day. So thank you very much for doing that.
Well, you're very welcome.
Michigan Lutheran, I'm sure, thanks you and appreciates you. And I just like having the company here on the morning show.
Well, thank you.
We were talking about your background, and already you've told us that you pledged to never marry a farmer, and yet you did.
That's correct.
and that you think snakes are okay.
Well, I'm not fiercely scared of them. No.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You're brave. That's good.
Uh.
Out on the farm, you run into a lot of different critters out there.
All the time. I had 3 ticks on me this year already.
This year already? Where are you
Yes.
hanging out?
Outside. I don't stay in.
Do you know where you're picking them up?
I have no idea. Probably from the grass or the trees.
Okay.
I mow a lot.
Oh yeah. The last time that I found ticks, and they were actually on one of my sons. They hadn't burrowed in yet. They had just latched on to the clothes and were crawling around looking for a good place to get in. But they were on a tree.
That's probably very possible.
And my wife Stephanie believes they are like paratroopers. They have parachutes and they jump off the tree and something like that.
I thought maybe they fell off the tree.
Oh, they might fall off. I've never seen the silk parachutes falling, but that would be a sight.
Yeah, just the other night I was at my desk and there's something crawling on my finger.
Oh
And
no.
it was a tick.
Oh no. Okay, so tick season is out there. We talked about it earlier this week. It is tick season, Tick Awareness Month. Be aware of that. Lyme disease and all that other stuff. If you ever get a tick bite, you don't know how long the tick's been on you, and you start to see a red ring around it, go see medical attention. Go get
Correct.
medical attention, because you may be a candidate for Lyme disease. But we digress. Nancy Wuszke is here. She's from Eau Claire. She was born in Berrien Springs. We've learned that so far. Also, you grew up on a farm. Tell us a little bit more about your background.
About the farming background?
Sure. Yeah. So your family, had they been farming for some time?
That was my dad's livelihood.
Okay.
And
Was he a first generation farmer?
No, I think his parents grew mint and so forth out by Gleanway,
Okay.
and which he said he hated. I'm sure there were no herbicides back then, and they were weeding that constantly to listen to him.
Oh my goodness. I can't imagine having a mint farm. I mean,
Yes, they did. Yeah, and they had
wow.
a still, I think, and all
Okay.
those kind of things.
Okay. A still.
I think so, yeah. There was one on our farm left over from many years ago.
Okay. So making your own beverages.
Could be. Hooch.
A little bit of hooch, a little bit of moonshine. That's good. That's all right. No prohibition. That's for those guys over there.
Yeah.
No, that's fun. Okay, so your father grew up around farming, and then you did as well, and you were taking care of your 5 brothers and brothers and 1 sister.
Correct.
Okay, and then so farm life. Then what?
Well, I also had an income tax business I had since 1967.
Did you now? When did you go to school for that? Or when did you?
When my children were very small.
Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So-
And I've done that. Well, I'm just gradually fading out now. I cut way back about 10 years ago, and I still have a few older people, and
Oh, so you're still doing the tax prep?
I still do.
That's
Yes.
great. What do you think of the tax law? Is it simple?
Absolutely not. And I'm one of these that thinks if you think you can just get a piece of software
Yeah.
and plug in your numbers, if you have a very difficult, intricate return,
Yeah.
this is going to work if you don't know the rules.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Right.
No, I mean, if it's a very straightforward, okay, I earned this and I have no investments or assets of this sort that are depreciating or anything like that, or home offices, probably okay with the software. But
Correct.
if not, got
Right.
some issues.
Really.
Okay.
I
I think we jumped a couple of steps because
Okay.
you graduated in 1955 from Berrien Springs High School,
correct.
and then you landed your first job. Talk about that. What were you doing?
I interviewed at a couple of places, and I went to Whirlpool, and they hired me in June of 55.
Okay.
And my job ended up being, I call it a dumb file clerk. I had taken shorthand and typing and all those commercial classes, and I'm a file clerk, but I stuck with it. And 6 months later, I had a promotion, so it was up from there.
Wow. 6 months, and then you got a promotion. Do you recall what you were doing after that?
So then I went. I was down in the old Cooper Wells building by Silver Beach. That's where we started.
Okay.
Then I went to the North Shore building in the like where Osco's was.
Yeah.
And I ended up at the Ad Center in personnel.
Wow. Okay. How many years were you with Whirlpool?
6.5.
Okay. And then you decided that's enough.
Well,
Or did they decide for you?
they decided for me. At that time, they didn't let you be pregnant very long.
Oh, okay. They didn't have good maternity rules.
Not at all.
Okay.
And that was okay. I was time
All right.
to quit and raise the family and help take care of the farm.
Okay. They've changed that since then.
Yes,
They're
I
a
bet.
little bit more friendly. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking at some notes that you shared with me. Thank you for this. It says, Dad purchased my first new car, a new and very basic 1955 Chevrolet.
Correct.
Oh man, I bet that thing was sweet. What color was it?
Light green and white top.
Oh, beautiful.
It was.
And the price tag on that 1955 basic, as you call it, Chevy.
Yes.
How much was it?
$1,700.
Brand new car.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Why now? I mean, he's got 6 kids. He decided Nancy's taking care of all the kids here. She's working on the farm. She's a pretty good kid. Is that why you got the car?
Well, I think so. And I think he thought I needed something reliable to go to work. And he probably knew that I would pay them back.
Okay.
So weekly, I paid them back.
Did you really?
Really?
That's nice. That's very nice.
There was no other choice.
Yeah. That was the agreement going in. Was it a manual transmission?
Yes, it was stick shift. But
And-
that wasn't a problem. I had driven tractors and so forth.
Okay, so you knew.
I knew.
You knew exactly how to do it. And I'm seeing here that's very something that's very concerning. It was a 1955 Chevy, and you called it basic. Now I understand why, because you say here it lacked a radio.
That's right.
Oh,
And I mentioned that I wanted a radio, and Dad said, "You want a way to work or you want music?"
it's the car or the music. You can't have both.
That's right. But my future husband put one in a year or two later.
Talk a little bit about your husband,
Well, he grew up on a farm also in the Eau Claire area.
George.
George.
Okay.
Correct. And we were married 58 years. And 56, excuse me.
Okay.
Hardworking farmer. And together, we put it together, I guess. We added one farm after another as we grew.
Okay.
And then he passed away here 10 years ago.
Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. And I rent the land out now to a couple of good farmers. And there was migrant housing for all the fruits and vegetables that we raised.
Yeah.
And so I turned those and I rent those out. I have plenty to do.
Yeah.
And,
Do you at the height of the farm's size, how many acres would you say?
well, we rented some also, about 1,000.
Okay, about 1,000. That's a pretty sizable.
Yes, but by today's measurements, I guess some of them are much bigger, but
Okay.
it was enough for us.
Yeah. And what were you growing on those farms?
Oh my, strawberries, peaches, apples, cabbage, pickles, tomatoes,
Wow.
all those.
All right.
So I didn't have a garden. I didn't need one.
Didn't need a garden. You had enough garden out there.
did.
Oh man. Did you ever get into canning or anything like that?
I did when the kids were home,
Okay.
but I gave that up now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. We're talking with Nancy Wuszke. She is she bid on a silent auction item, and that item was to co-host the WSJM morning show. So we thank her for that, and we're learning a little bit more about her background. Because honestly, as you're reflecting on your life, that is Southwest Michigan. That's what we're all about.
That's right.
Strongly agricultural, hardworking, and friendly. So thank you for that. And not afraid of snakes, darn it.
No, I'm not.
All right. Next time we're going to bring a snake handler in. Next time you come in. All right. So we'll talk a little bit more with Nancy in just a moment. And I see a note here about a 1960 Buick LeSabre convertible. So we'll talk about that on the video live stream in just a moment. It's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got to get a couple of messages in. Then we'll have the Bloomberg Market Minutes for some financial information. Then we'll get our ABC News for the latest world and national news. And then we'll check on what's going on in the WSJM newsroom. That's all coming up right here on WSJM.
What would you call a
All right. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. My co-host this morning is Nancy Wuszke. How are we doing so far?
Well, you tell me.
You're doing great. This is fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. We love the storytelling, so we're going to ask you to keep sharing. But is this what you anticipated? Did
The
you know?
experience here, you
Yeah.
mean? I've watched it on podcasts many times, and so I kind of wondered what the setup was, but it's exactly what I saw.
This is it.
Yes.
This is it. We're thinking about hiring dancers to open the show. That's Mike Weibel's idea, but we'll see what happens. But no, I mean, this is it. And as you know, I mean, it's lonely at the start of the day here because I usually get in around 4 a.m.
Oh,
and start going through the news and doing show prep and that kind of thing, because the WSJM newsroom supplies news to a number of different radio stations that we have here for Midwest Family.
Okay.
So for me, it's great because the traffic's fantastic.
Yeah, right.
Coming in at 4 a.m. The only problem, the bane of my existence right now, which I mean, I'm fortunate to have this. The bane of my existence right now is the stoplight at Colfax and Napier. It's broken. It has no sensor. And so you have to wait for it to cycle the entire time, every morning.
I see that online on nextdoor.com. They're always complaining
really?
about that.
Are they complaining about the stoplight there? I'll have to take a look.
Yes.
And they just approved fixing some of those. And so I keep hoping this will be the day, but so far, no. Maybe if somebody's listening. Yes, patience is a virtue. That is great. How do you live your life out there?
Well, I'm moving all the time.
Yeah, keep it moving. Go outside.
I mow a lot. I have.
Do you have one of those zero? Do you have the zero turn?
Not the zero turn. No, I got the steering wheel.
Okay.
But it turns pretty sharp.
Yeah.
And nothing prettier than a nice looking lawn.
Any children?
2.
Okay.
They went to Michigan Lutheran High School.
Okay.
And graduated from there. And I have a son who is a CPA and a daughter who's a dietitian.
Okay. They both have numbers in their careers.
That's correct.
Wow. So they got it from you, clearly.
Well, my husband was pretty good with numbers,
Was
too.
he?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What kind of tractors?
Oh, my. Mostly John Deere's.
Okay. Well, good. Good. Keep it local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he passed, I had an auction about a year later.
Okay.
And disposed of all of the equipment. But I needed a tractor to plow snow.
Yeah.
So the big tractors we had, they were too big, and the small tractors didn't have any cabs. So I sold them all and bought my own.
Good for you. So it's the right size and it has a cab
And a radio and air
it's got
conditioning.
the radio.
And a heater. And
Air conditioning.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
For this weather, yeah. For the
John
summer.
Deere?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would have settled for a Ford, but that would have been all right.
Ford tractor?
I don't know do they still make Ford tractors?
I don't know if they do. I don't know.
If they do, it's probably like a subsidiary that is making the little things that tow the planes around, because they used to do that too.
Could be.
But okay, so your late husband George grew up on a farm near Eau Claire.
Yes.
And how did you meet?
Well, back then, there was you probably heard of Michigan Farm Bureau or
Yes.
Federal Farm Bureau.
Yep.
There was also a Junior Farm Bureau group.
Okay.
And he was in the service, and we had a Christmas party at one of the members' houses at the Junior Farm Bureau group. And he told a friend of his that, I want to meet that girl over there. I was on the other side of the room.
Really?
So I went on a blind date, and 2 years later, it was history.
Wow. 2 years. So from the Farm Bureau dance till the time that he said, "Will you?" He proposed.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's really good. And then after that,
I don't know quite what you mean.
well,
but,
so you moved to the farm.
moved to the farm.
Okay.
There was a house on the farm, and we moved into that. And like I said, we had.
Are you still in that house today?
No.
Okay.
No, 18 years later, we built a new house and needed a little more room.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice. We'll be back in just a moment. We're talking with Nancy Wuszke. She is the co-host for the morning show today, and we appreciate her donation to Michigan Lutheran. She purchased this opportunity through a silent auction, and all the benefits, the proceeds, went to Michigan Lutheran, where your kids went.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So we'll come back and talk more with Nancy in just a moment. We've also got news to talk about. We've got our latest from the ABC newsroom. We'll have a preview of our local news from the WSJM newsroom, and we'll have the weather forecast and sports and a whole lot more. It's all coming up right here on WSJM.
Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's 62 degrees at 7:34, 62 in Benton Harbor, 59 in St. Joseph. South Haven is reporting 60 degrees. We're supposed to get up to a really warm high today inland in southwest Michigan of 78 degrees. It's going to be cooler by the lake, but 78 degrees for a high today. We're going to keep the clouds for the most part and a chance of showers or maybe even some thunderstorms as well. Tonight's forecast, partly to mostly cloudy, a 30% chance of rain showers, a low overnight, still keeping it warm and frizzy around 60 degrees. And then Thursday's forecast, tomorrow, partly cloudy, a 20% chance of showers, mostly during the day, but then we increase that during the evening when we have a 40% chance of some storms rolling through. And you can tell why from the temperature. Tomorrow's high is supposed to be in the warm areas of southwest Michigan around 87 degrees with some southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. If that weather turns a little bit nasty, we will have the latest here on WSJM, so stay tuned to your radio. It's 7:35. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got more news coming up in just a moment from our WSJM newsroom. We've got Michigan News Network and the latest sports as well. We'll take a look around in the nation of what's happening from ABC. Boston Red Sox falling again to the Detroit Tigers last night. They went into extra innings.
Oh, my.
It was a really good game. Let's see. What was the final on that? Final was, it took 11 innings. The final score was 10-9. The Tigers are now 28-15 on the season, among the best in Major League right now.
Well, good for them.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers. Do you have a favorite baseball team?
Oh, I probably like the Cubs, and I don't have a reason.
The door is right there. No, I'm just kidding. Nancy Wuszke is going to become a Detroit Tigers fan before the hour is up. No, that's fine. I appreciate your honesty. No. So you like the Cubbies, huh?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, because they're bears. They're fuzzy. They're not ferocious like tigers.
Well, you're probably right about that.
All right. Anyway, the Detroit Tigers host Boston again tonight. The first pitch is coming up right here on WSJM at 6:40 p.m. Again, you can hear it right here on WSJM, your official Detroit Tigers baseball station. We'll be right back.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump touching down in Doha, Qatar, the next stop in his 4-day Middle Eastern trip. That country offering him a $400 million luxury jet as a gift.
President Trump last night saying the plane, quote, will be used by our government as a temporary Air Force One until Boeing can make a new one. The president claiming the jet will not cost taxpayers, but experts say it could take years and up to $1 billion to overhaul the plane with classified upgrades.
ABC's Christiane Cordero in Washington. While in Saudi Arabia, the president met with a new leader of Syria, the first time the leaders of the U.S. and Syria have talked in 25 years. Ukrainian and Russian officials set to meet tomorrow in Turkey for ceasefire talks. Volodymyr Zelensky says he will be there. The Kremlin has not said if Vladimir Putin will be. After hearing from family members sympathetic to their cause, the Menendez brothers now eligible for parole, a judge resentencing them for the murder of their parents more than 30 years ago. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And a drizzly good morning to you. It's the WSJM Morning Show for Wednesday, May 14th. I'm Ken Lundberg. My co-host today is Nancy Wuszke. She is here co-hosting. Why, you might ask? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out more if you haven't heard already. Some of the news that we have coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. An arrest has been made in Lincoln Township for a homicide that happened there last month. We'll tell you all about that story. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is busy. They've got their dredging work underway in the outer St. Joseph Harbor. You're going to see a lot more sand piling up on the beach, probably around Lions Park Beach. That's coming up. Probably between now and next week, they'll be complete by that. And then also planning is well underway for this year's Hartford Strawberry Festival. And my co-host Nancy Wuszke has volunteered to go out and hoe the strawberry farms. Is that right?
I don't think so.
No, you did that. You did your time.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Been there,
done that. Strawberry. Ooh, fresh strawberries. That sounds really good.
And you can't buy any strawberries that taste like they did years ago.
No, you can't. You can't. Those that are coming in that they were probably picked green or something like that, right? Do they do that?
Well, I think they're also bred so that they can travel good from California to here or Florida to here,
yeah,
Mexico to here. And so they're so they hold up better.
Yeah.
Because
Local strawberries. Got to go local.
you're right.
Got to go
But
local.
that's only in June, usually.
Have you ever had a strawberry fight in the fields?
No, but an apple fight, maybe.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
That's serious. Those leave welts.
Strawberries?
No, the apples.
Oh, right.
Man, especially when they're the tiny, they're not ripe yet. They're hard.
Yes, I agree.
So, well, anyway, we'll talk on the video live stream about strawberry fights and about apple fights in just a moment.
Okay.
It's the WSJM morning show at 7:40. We have sports coming up in just a moment. Right now, the latest from around the state of Michigan.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. The Michigan Court of Claims ruled that several state abortion regulations, the mandatory 24-hour waiting period, the mandatory uniform informed consent requirements, and the ban on advanced practice clinicians providing abortion care are unconstitutional. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel says in a statement that the court has rightly recognized that these provisions did nothing but burden and obstruct access to abortion care. In Grand Rapids, 17-year-old Cartier Pascal has been charged with murder in the shooting death of 15-year-old Emilie Penn last year. Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrom says Cartier is being charged as an adult and bond has been denied for him. Millie was shot while playing football with friends in June of last year. Two men will stay on the Hamtramck City Council despite questions around their residency. That after a vote by council last night.
Oh, I've
Now
got.
I see.
Yeah. So here. Sorry. Welcome back to the WSJM morning show, the video live stream. And I just announced to the radio audience that Tom is going to have to come on the show at some point. Tom is our new sales manager, our new business development. Yeah, he's new. He was raised in Iowa and spent a lot of time in radio, which is great. And then most recently, I think he was out in California, but he's been here in Michigan as well, Saginaw.
Oh, okay.
In radio out there. So the water good? Have some more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you cook?
Not like I used to.
Are you a good cook?
It's hard.
Are you a good cook?
I don't think it's too shabby.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to make?
What's my favorite thing to make? Well, it's not turkey.
Oh, really? Okay. So worst thing, the least favorite thing to make is turkey.
Right.
Why? Because how does it turn out? Does it turn out like you want it?
No, that's not the problem. The problem is so much mess and the carving and well, my husband wasn't a cook, so I ended up doing it all when he was alive.
Okay.
And cooking for one is not fun.
Okay. You don't appreciate it. You don't like it. Okay.
I do it, but I'm not crazy about it.
See, I love cooking.
Do you?
I do.
Last night we had a car club meeting and one of our male members brought in banana bread. And he said he made it.
Wow.
It was delicious.
Banana bread.
Yeah.
I've never made banana bread. I do make regular bread. Whether it's mostly these days for my wife, Stephanie, I make gluten-free bread.
Oh.
And it's almost like a cake batter. That you pour out and it rises in like 30 minutes. You don't have to knead it or anything like that.
Oh, really? Oh, that's my kind.
And then you bake it in 30 minutes and you're done. And it tastes so good. And the sweetener is honey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. It's very good for you.
Sure.
And that's why I'm not suffering from pollen this year, I think. Because I eat a lot of that bread. So strawberry fights. So one of the first agricultural experiences. So I grew up in Washington State in the agricultural area.
Wonderful.
My dad was a field man for some seed companies, and so he took me around to a lot of his different farming operations. And one of the things that he wanted us to do was my brother and I earn extra money by going out to the strawberry fields and pick strawberries.
That's backbreaking, isn't it?
That is backbreaking because you're crawling on down the row picking the strawberries. Because if you don't know, strawberries don't grow tall. They do not grow on trees. They don't grow on vines. I mean, they're on the ground.
That's right.
And they're good.
They are good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, inevitably, my brother and I would either throw strawberries at each other or at our friends, and then we get into a strawberry fight, and then the owners of the field would get upset and say, "Get back to work." So
I would have to agree with that.
Tell us about your apple fights. Because we did that too. We used to we crab apples primarily.
Oh no, ours were larger than
The
that.
big apples.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Brothers,
don't know
sisters.
what promoted them, but
Yeah.
it would happen every once in a while.
Did you ever get clocked? Like
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Too long ago.
Fresh apple cider?
I'm not a big fan of that.
Oh, okay. What about the cake donuts with them?
Well, that helps.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That way you can get the apple cider down.
Right.
Okay. Do you have a preferred fruit or vegetable? What's your favorite?
Peaches. Nice tree ripe peach.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It is good.
I'm glad we're going to have a good year.
It looks like it. You know, the flowering trees this year, they were
Beautiful.
this year. They had extra blooms on them.
Oh, that's bumper crop.
Bumper crop.
Okay, here we go. We're going to get back on the radio. It's the WSJM morning show. We're going to do our Moody on the Market update, and we'll be back with Nancy Wuszke in just a moment.
Mostly cloudy skies with areas of fog to start out today. Then we get a chance for a few scattered showers this afternoon. High temperatures around 78. Tonight, partly cloudy. We'll see a chance of a few scattered showers. We drop to 60. And then for Thursday, we're going to be partly sunny and hot. We'll get up into the middle 80s, but we do have a chance of storms Thursday afternoon and evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:46. It's the WSJM morning show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning, my co-host is Nancy Wuszke. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. And you just said something. This is why I know you don't have a future in radio, because you just said I'm not a braggart.
I'm not.
so but we'll take you for today. No, it's really good. And so Nancy, if you're just catching up, Nancy bid at silent auction to benefit Michigan Lutheran, bid on an opportunity to come co-host the WSJM morning show. Right. And did you think you were going to win?
I was only going to bid one more time, so I raised.
It was a bidding war. Tell us more.
Oh yeah, back and forth. It started very low and went higher, and this is my last bid. It was a round number.
Okay.
And I said, "This is the last one," and the other one never raised a paddle again.
That is fantastic. So it was a live auction, not a silent part.
That's right. It was
okay.
live.
So you were in the moment. Okay.
That's right.
Very good. I stand corrected. Very good. Well, we're talking with Nancy. We'll talk with her more in just a moment, but let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update. And your Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And for the Moody on the Market update, Nancy, we talk about business updates. We talk about life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. And we also talk about interesting people you should know.
Okay.
I think you're an interesting person we should know.
Thank you.
So thank you for letting us get to know you this morning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And so tell us, you're very involved. You've been involved in automobile collecting, would you say?
Well, probably in the 1980s. My husband got the old car bug. He probably always had it, but he brought it to life.
He finally had the means to bring it to, and the permission from you to bring it to life.
Yeah, I didn't take too much permission. But I was okay until they started to build up.
Build up. How many cars?
Well, we did end up with 12.
Wow, a dozen cars.
Yes, and they were all number ones and twos, I would say.
Wow. So what were they? Do you recall some of them?
Well, we had 3 DeSotos.
Okay.
A 1960 Bonneville Pontiac.
Mm.
And
but that was beautiful.
It was in my 50s and a 56 Chevy.
Okay.
And I only had a list here, didn't I?
Let's see. There's a 1957 DeSoto, a 1949 DeSoto, a 1955 Oldsmobile.
Oh,
right?
And a 68 Cutlass, which I have kept.
Oh, okay.
And a 55 Olds, and we got that one because that's what he had when we got married, and it was a pretty red and white one, and he always wanted to replace that.
Wow.
And we did get that, and and a couple of others that maybe weren't so valuable.
Did you take him around to different car shows,
yes,
parades?
local shows, and we went to a lot of national conventions in different states,
Okay.
and that was always fun.
Oh, that's
Hard to get away in the summer when you're farming, but
I
we
bet.
made a few trips.
Okay. Jay Leno. Let's talk about Jay Leno.
Well, I sent him an email and told him that we had this 1957 DeSoto Adventure, which
Ooh.
is probably the top of the line
Okay.
of a DeSoto. Do you know what a DeSoto?
I know what DeSotos are. I've never been in one.
Okay.
I would love to be in one or drive one.
So I didn't hear from him, so I expected, well, he didn't want that in his garage.
Okay.
So the first year after my husband had passed, I was delivering a load of apples to Hartford place, and I was on a scale weighing my load out, and he says, "Hello." He said, "This is Jay Leno."
You got a call while you're on the scale weighing the apples.
Yes.
And it was Jay Leno on the phone?
Jay Leno. I said, "You're kidding me." Well, anyway, we had a few more conversations about the DeSoto,
Okay.
but it never materialized.
Okay.
He said, I'm changing license plates right now, and I got too darn many.
I mean, because he has a huge garage,
Right.
a great collection.
Right.
Very cool. So he considered the DeSoto, but for whatever reason, he decided, I probably shouldn't.
That's right.
Did he have that funny Jay Leno talk?
Sounded like Jay Leno after I got to listening to him more.
And any other stories about the automobile trading?
Well, as I was disposing of the cars, because I wasn't an old car bug.
Yeah.
I went along with it. And it was fun.
Yeah.
I sold 3 cars to an individual from Elkhart.
Okay.
He was in the payroll business.
Oh.
And he wasn't sending in the FICA and the withholding and all that. But I didn't know that at this time.
Oh, dear.
So he come and looked at the cars, and he said, "I'll take this one and this one and that one."
3 cars.
3 cars.
Wow.
So we're negotiating, and then he says, "I know what you want for them. How about this?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I'll meet you in the middle." So the deal was made, and then he wanted to write a check.
Oh.
And I said, "No, I can't do that unless I hold the cars for about 10 days.
Sure.
No, he didn't want that.
Let the check clear.
Well, he said, "How about a cashier's check or a money order?" And I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I said, "I'll tell you what, why don't you do a money line transfer from bank to bank?"
Right. Right.
So he did.
Okay. You
I
got the
gave
cash.
him my routing number and everything.
Yeah.
And in a couple of hours, I had my money.
Sweet.
And the cars were his.
Okay.
Then about 2 or 3 years later, we find out he's in trouble with the IRS. And luckily, I didn't take a check. Of course, but he had this scheme going on for since 2014.
Wow.
So I could have been part of that. And he ended up with almost 250 very, very nice cars. I did get to see them before they went on auction.
Oh my goodness. So you 2 things in life are certain: death and taxes. And I guess you can add a third thing, that the IRS will get their share.
Oh, yes. I don't know if they got all of it, but I think he's on a cot and eating crackers now.
We're talking with Nancy Wuszke. She's here as a co-host for the WSJM Morning Show because she was generous enough to bid on the opportunity at auction for Michigan Lutheran and help them raise money. So thank you again for doing that. That's our Moody on the Market update for today, brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll continue this conversation on the video live stream right now, and we'll be back to wrap it up here on the radio in just a moment. It's WSJM.
We're watching over you.
Nancy, that's fascinating. We need to talk to Jay Leno and ask him why he didn't buy your cars.
Well, I don't know where that 57 is, because that's what the.
Though that's what the tax defrauder took.
That's
Okay.
what he took. That yes.
Okay.
And a 49 DeSoto and a 55 Olds.
Okay. All right. So 2 questions. Do you have any Porsche, Ferrari, or Jaguar cars in the barn somewhere?
A little bit too rich for our blood.
All right, fine. And did you or your husband get into guitars at any point?
Get into
Guitars.
what?
Guitars.
Oh, guitars?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Didn't make any
2
points
things
there,
that I
did
look for. No, that's all right. That's all right. That saves me from trying to get you to take a non-cashier's check. So you wouldn't take a cashier's check. How come? I thought that was like the gold standard.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
They can easily use that to defraud you.
Well, you can call the bank and tell them to stop it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Even
smart
though
on your part.
Even though he has the check,
Yeah, and the money and everything.
but the bank internally can stop it if he calls.
That's so smart on your part. So good job.
He did tell me. He says, "Ma, you're a businesswoman." Well, we sold a lot of fruits and vegetables, so it wasn't my first sale.
Yeah. So let's see. I saw an email come in. It had to do with Mint. So somebody was adding to what we were talking about. Let's see. Mary emailed and said, "I'm enjoying your interview with Nancy. FYI, a mint still is used to extract mint oil, which is used in candy, mouthwash, and pain relief products and beverages." She says, "In our region, especially in northern Indiana, mint has been a key farm crop over the years. In fact, there used to be a bar restaurant called the Mint Still in Bremen, Indiana." And she said there's a Peppermint Road west of South Bend.
Really?
Yeah. And she said, "Thank you for the interview." Yeah.
You're welcome.
So the stills are mint stills to extract the oil.
Yes.
And make hooch.
That's what I understood. I don't know.
What are you making back there, George? Mint oil.
It was already kaput by the time we started farming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And my understanding is, I know we have to get back on the radio here. My understanding is mint is very hard to get rid of once you have it.
Oh, we have it all over our farm.
Yeah.
In fact, the wild. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. This is the behind the scenes where I have to juggle stuff. Okay. We'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And my friend this morning, I hope I can call you my friend, Nancy Wuszke.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming in today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you into the studios this morning. And thank you for your donation to Michigan Lutheran for the opportunity to come in and co-host. You want to say some words about Michigan Lutheran?
Well, I did want to say that Michigan Lutheran was founded in 1974. And for students to become well-rounded individuals with an excellent Christian educational experience.
Yeah.
Our children went there, and I think it did them well.
Excellent. And thank you for your kind words about Michigan Lutheran and your donation, your generous donation, for the opportunity to come in and have fun with us on the WSJM Morning Show. We really appreciate your stories, everything that you've shared. Even though you don't have any barn find Lamborghinis or Porsches out there, it was fun to hear about your car collection. You still go to the car collection meetings, the auto club meetings.
I'm the vice president.
Okay.
And
any fun events coming up?
Well, we do have 4 events that we have during
Okay,
the year.
let's hear them. We've got.
We have a Waterville Car Show, which will be 4th of July.
Okay.
And all of our money goes to the veterans here locally in Berrien County.
Very nice.
We have our picnic in August, which is very well attended. We have a fall color tour when the leaves are turning. And then we have our holiday party in November for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Outstanding. How can people get Morning show. We've got the latest world and national news now from ABC. Our local news is next. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President